I'm Christian with Vision Interactive here at Dallas Digital Summit 2017 with Tyler Farnsworth. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm the managing director of August United. We're a full-service influencer marketing firm out of Phoenix, Arizona. Do you want to talk a little bit about the session?
Of course. It was awesome and made me laugh a lot.
Well, thank you. We had a lot of fun today. The title of the session was A Roadmap to Remarkable Marketing. And that remarkable word really comes from Seth Godin's work, where he talks about creating advertising or marketing that's worth remarking about, worth talking about. If nobody's talking about you, it doesn't really matter how good your product is, it's hard for people to discover it. And so us as creatives and marketers, we're often trying to figure out, like, how can I do something a bit different? How can I stand out? How can I do it without having tons of budget or something like that? So we got to get creative. And one of the biggest challenges to that is having and running a really good brainstorm. And so a portion of the talk today was spent on brainstorming techniques and trying to figure out how to hack that a bit. And I referenced a book that I think is really great. That's called Gamestorming. There's another one called Thinker Toys. They're really just unique tools to help us run better brainstorms. But maybe I'll share a couple tips. Should I do that?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So there are a few tips. One is really start with the end in mind. Like, as you get into a brainstorm, understand who are we talking to, who is our core consumer, what are we trying to do? Are we entering into a new market? Are we introducing a new product, a new geo? Like, what is that? Have all the data that we need to understand, like, who are these people? What makes them tick? And then from there, we like doing a couple of things. So we like identifying what is the right to, like, we have to win. What is our right to win? How do we stand apart? Like, what's unique about our product? And so we bring both of those things up on the board. What's our unique rights to win? And who are our core consumers? What do they care about? That helps us get ready. From there, we usually do something that's kind of fun. We bring in an example of something in the marketing world that's non-boring, that's different, that's breaking out. It doesn't have to be in your space, just something that's really cool, and think, like, what did they do? Not to copy that, but to say, what were the things, the unique elements that made that successful? And that kind of gets our brains in the right place. Do a brain teaser, do something a little bit different. We talked about asking the question, like, is a hot dog a sandwich? And just get some arguments going on, gets the brains ready.
Is it?
Well, I don't know. You guys tell me. Respond in the comments, right? But the other piece is, then once we start the brainstorm, we love having some propelling questions up there that keep it moving. But then start with silence. Don't just start throwing out ideas, because usually what happens, and some of you guys may know this, but the senior most person in the room, like, comes in with his or her ideas, and then nobody else really likes to add, because they're like, oh, well, that's what he said, so that's probably right. Yeah, so we start with silence, and, like, Post-its or whatever, have people write down their ideas. If you say, hey, we're going to brainstorm for 10 minutes silently. And then we love going around the room, starting with the junior most person in the room up to the senior most, so we can get this wealth of ideas out. We set a lot of rules at the beginning, so it's like suspend judgment, really +1 ideas. Now's not the time for, will legal approve it, will corporate approve it, do we have the budget? We'll get there, but now's not that time. So those are some of the core tips. After you get all of these ideas out, that's what we call fauceting, like turning on a faucet and letting tons of ideas flow. Then we'll have another session, either later on that day or potentially even part of the same meeting, where we'll start funnel. So we'll take all of these wacky ideas from mild to wild, and then start getting to a place where it's like, okay, these are 3 that we can vet out, kind of put up to senior leadership, and see where we can go from there. But just a few ideas for running a bit of a better brainstorm.
Awesome. So tell us about some of your favorite examples of creativity gone right.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. But I love what KFC is doing right now. I think they're doing some really unique things. They had their fried chicken scented sunscreen for their crispy, extra crispy chicken that came out. I thought that was really neat. I think Burger King and Wendy's are doing some fun things right now online. There was a carpet company that did a really unique thing, because carpet is boring, right? And we a lot of us will say, hey, my product's not Burger King, it's not Mountain Dew, it's not Red Bull. How can I do something cool? This company, they made a new product called Smart Strand, and like most people do, they talked about all the features and benefits. It doesn't stain, it holds up well, but that's just kind of what everybody talks about. And their product sold through distributors in like Home Depot. How can we equip our salespeople with a story to tell? So what they did is they did something called the Rhino Challenge. and they put their carpet in rhinoceros pens in zoos around the country, which is crazy. It's just nuts. And they let everything happen to it, get all muddy and dirty and poop and all kinds of things. And then after a period of time, they cleaned that carpet, and it was dirty and junky, but it became like almost brand new again. It was kind of fun, and it equipped their whole company with a story to tell. And then those salespeople, those distributors told that story to customers. That customer, like one of their customers, told me about it, and now I'm telling you about it, and now you guys are listening to it. And that's that nature of really great marketing that breaks out of what everybody else does. So just a couple examples. There's tons. I keep it like a log on my phone of like non-boring marketing examples for questions like that.
Awesome. So is there anything fun that you're working on coming up for the new year, 2018?
Yeah, so we work a lot in influencer marketing. There's a lot of things that are changing there. And so one of those tactics in ridding the world of boring marketing is to work with voices and content creators that are not within the organization. And so we're looking at how you augment that in smart ways. So it's not just say, send a product to an influencer and have them talk about it, but working with them to create kind of more ongoing kind of episodic content or longer term relationships. But then also, I mean, something that we talked about in the session today was we keep hearing about like make short videos. That's all people care about. It's all people have time for, attention span for. I disagree with that. I think that you have to create things that are intriguing enough for people to give their attention, right? We talked about Stranger Things. People watched 9 hours of that thing because they wanted their attention to it. But it's not that people don't like ads. It's like they just hate terrible experiences, and they hate things that look and sound and act like ads. But if we do something a bit different that causes someone to say, that was fun, that was cool, that was good value, then that's where we need to be. So in 2018, I think the people that are going to be successful are those that get that and start living into it in a big way.
Awesome. And if people want to follow you, what's your website or your social?
Yeah, the agency is augustunited.com. They can find us there. My social's at Tyler Farnsworth, just kind of how it sounds. But
awesome. Well, thanks so much for being with us today.
You bet. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.